Welcome back to Comic Star Talk. I am your co-host Kevco, as always, joined by my co-host.
XO, and we
And
got
today we are joined by Zandman. Xander, how's it going?
It's going good. It's
Good to
going.
hear, man. Good to hear. We've got a few topics to talk about. Of course, first thing we got to get out of the way is a big RIP to our original Lex Luthor. Well, one of the original Lex Luthors, the one that's most famous as Lex Luthor. Uh, Gene Hackman passed away, 95 years young. Really makes you think.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, yesterday we also had the death of Michelle Trachtenberg, who is about
Yeah.
2 or 3 years younger than me. She was in a movie called Euro Trip back in the day, which is what I remember her from. Do you guys have any memories of her outside of anything? I think she was on like Gossip Girl.
She was on like some Disney movie I watched, like some princess something. I can't tell you what
Sounds
it
like a
was.
Disney movie.
Yeah, it was some
Might
Disney
be.
or Nickelodeon,
I think
either
it was
or.
Nickelodeon,
Yeah. That sounds more right. Feels
but
better.
I'm a big Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan, and she
That's what
was
she was in. Yes.
Dawn, Buffy's sister that appeared in later seasons. So
Mm.
yeah, that one
Yeah.
kind of hit a little home for me because I
Oh,
love
I'm
that
sure.
show.
Yeah, I just completely forgot about her outside of Euro Trip from back in the day. And yeah, she was on Buffy, and she was one that had a big issue with Joss Whedon, I believe, right?
Yeah, there was
Oh,
like a thing where they're not allowed to be in the same room together.
Yeah, she was like
Some
14 at the
stuff.
time when she started the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good old
God.
Joss Whedon.
So
Good old Joss Whedon. All right, well, now that the sad stuff is out of the way, let's talk some Oscars, shall we?
yeah, let's get into it.
Oscars.
All right, so we'll save Best Picture obviously for last. But
Mhm.
real quick, what is your personal, not nominated, nothing? What is your personal favorite movie of the year? Would you say? Just whatever it
Um,
is.
a good question. Huh?
Mine might be and Dune Tune's up there,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen that a couple times in theaters, watched a couple times at home. I really, really like that one
Yep.
because nothing really had that. I guess that and Nosferatu, my favorite movies I saw in the theater.
Yep.
But I did watch Substance later, and that was also very good. And
Yes.
I don't think Nosferatu is nominated for Best Picture, right? It's
No, it
not.
is not. Nope.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Nosferatu is good. It's got some award nominations, but not for Best Picture. A lot of people
right.
thought it would be nominated for that going in, but I'm with you on Dune 2 is my number one movie of the year. It still is. It has been since I've seen it. And Substance is definitely probably two or three. And A Complete Unknown is also in my top five. It's really hard to judge. I want to
I,
watch that one again.
I have that
Mm,
downloaded, but yeah, I have the same list. Dune 2 and The Substance stick out the
Okay.
most for the year.
Nice.
Dune
Nice.
2 just
mm.
felt so grand, and I love sci-fi, so it was
Mhm.
Yeah, I do too.
beautiful in IMAX. That
Oh,
that
yeah.
was that was great.
Yeah.
Great IMAX experience. And
And I,
that started off the year, huh?
yeah,
Like
which
Yeah,
sucks because that might ruin it for Best Picture because it came out so early, and that seems to be a trend where if you drop a movie in the first quarter of the year, it usually doesn't win Best Picture.
yeah, it
yeah.
Um,
usually doesn't.
so which is really unfortunate because that movie deserves to win all the awards for the most part, unless it's going up against The Substance in some
Yeah.
categories. But it's definitely should win over Substance for Best Picture. And I don't know, they probably threw us The Substance just to give us horror fans a bone, so to
Yeah,
speak.
Just
because
something.
usually pretty dry for us horror fans. We
Yeah.
saw great horror movies and not
Yep.
get any nominations at
Yep.
all. And it's really frustrating because it's like there's
Yes.
so many good movies
Oh
there
my God, so
and
many.
you're ignoring them.
Yep.
I just don't get it. But
Yep.
I guess the
Yeah.
substance did something different, maybe because Demi
Yeah.
Moore is in it. Maybe it's the
I.
way it's more like the way it's shot is a little different than most
Mm-hmm.
horror films, I
Yeah, that's
think.
what I like about it. It's
So
it's very strange and stands out in my mind. Like
Mm-hmm.
when he asked like the favorite movies, I didn't think of this, but like Dune 2 and those are the only options in
Yeah.
my opinion. You could put like Wicked if you really loved it that much, but
Wicked
it was
was
okay. It
Wicked
was
was
fine.
very good. It was very good. I could see why all the hype was behind it. Um, I'm not a huge fan of musicals anyways, but I did enjoy my 2.5 hours with Wicked when I watched it. Um, got some good set pieces, some really good music. So I did like Wicked a lot too, but I it's not in my top 10 of the year. Probably.
Yeah.
I still got to figure out my top 10, but I don't know if Wicked will make the cut. I got to
Mhm.
whittle it down from like 21 movies on my list to 10. So we'll see about that. But let's go and start off the top with actor in a leading role. Adrian Brody, The Brutalist. Haven't seen it. Timothy
good.
Chalamet, Complete Unknown. Coleman Domingo with Sing Sing. Have not seen that either. Ralph Fiennes with Conclave. Saw that. He's fantastic. And this is the one that surprised me the most because I saw this movie and I go, I love Sebastian Stan, but I really didn't see him as Donald Trump, and he was nominated for The Apprentice. And then after I said that to myself, I saw all these clips coming out online where they segmented just certain parts of that movie, and I'm like, holy shit, he nailed that role, which I didn't see that when I first saw it.
Yeah,
Have either of you seen that movie, The Apprentice?
I
Nah.
haven't. I was
It's
thinking about seeing it, but I kind of like talked myself out of it.
Yeah, I mean,
It
if you're not
wasn't
too
super
sick of Donald Trump, I do recommend you to see it sometime. Maybe wait for it to be on streaming if it's not already.
On streaming,
Um,
I'll check it out for sure.
yeah. But I see, since I haven't seen The Brutalist, I would probably give this to Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, I was about to say, you seen the Bob Dylan one? Because I didn't see that movie yet.
He's fantastic in that movie. And I'm not a huge Bob Dylan fan. I mean, everyone in that movie is awesome. So that's who I would give it to.
I need to watch it. I have it
Yeah, you
downloaded.
do. Yep.
Yeah, but
That's a great movie.
on the nominations, I was like, this sucks 'cause I haven't really seen any of
Mhm.
them. So it's
Yeah.
just kind of like,
I've only seen like 3.
I feel
Mhm.
like they're just gonna give it to Ralph Fiennes though, because they kind of like those kind of movies about the church and stuff. So it's probably gonna give it to him. But
Yeah. And he's
you
also
know,
one of those actors that a lot of people think he should have an Oscar by now. So that might be the de facto where Timothy Chalamet is 27 years old and he's just
Yeah.
he's still rising right now. So and he just won at was it the SAG Awards? He just took that at I believe
think
last
so.
weekend. Yeah, so good for him to win that one. Of course he came out and he gave I want to be one of the greats, and a lot of people were mad about that. And I'm like, if you're not in it to be one of the greats, even if it is a subjective thing, like what are you doing? You should want to be that arrogant to be like, yeah, I want to be one
Right.
of the greats. Like otherwise, what the fuck are you doing? Like
You should want to be
Yeah.
good.
And
Yeah.
he's dominating. Like he had Wonka, and he's just been in constant media. And now
Yep.
he's in the Oscars,
Mhm.
2 nominees
Yep.
for
Yes.
Dune and
Yeah, he had a
uh,
hell of a year. Hell of a year for Chalamet.
Mhm.
Similar to his was it 2017 where he had like 3 movies come out and they were all like talking about him as being like the best young actor in Hollywood.
Probably.
So yeah, he's been on the rise for a while, and I think it might not be his time yet. So like you say, Ralph Fiennes. I mean, like you said, they love the church movies, and I mean that movie was okay, but I could see why it's getting awards because it's
Mhm.
very well made. It's just not my jam. But moving on, we're only gonna do a few of these. Actor in a supporting role: Yura Berezev, the Russian dude from Anora. Kieran Culkin, Real Pain, saw that. It was pretty good. He plays the same characters he did on that HBO show, essentially, just less of a dick. Edward Norton for Complete Unknown. His performance blew me away. Also, like when I watched that, I said, "Well, the world needed to be reminded of how good of an actor he is because he's great in it." Guy Pearce for The Brutalist. Guy Pearce is always good, and Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice.
Mhm.
He's awesome in The Apprentice. Very good. Out of these, my heart says Edward Norton because I've loved him since I was like 15 years old. So, you see any of those, Zan? Do you have any preference on the actor in the supporting role?
yeah, that
Not
could be
really.
anyone
Yeah.
for me.
It sucks again because it's like, oh great, these movies I haven't seen again, they're
Yeah.
nominated. And I see a lot of movies throughout the year. I guess I skip these. I don't know. And then Edward Norton I liked a lot. I always liked him.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna just be with you and say I want him to win.
Mhm.
But who knows? Maybe they go to Jeremy Strong for
Yeah, they might.
something.
Or even Guy Pearce, because Guy Pearce I love Guy Pearce too. So I'd be happy with any of them. The Russian dude in Nora is also like the heart of the movie. So I wouldn't have an issue with him either winning.
Mhm.
So we'll go to actress in the leading role. Cynthia from Wicked. Katie Sophia Gascon from Amelia Perez. Mikey Madsen, Anora. Demi Moore, The Substance, and Fernando Torres, I'm Still Here. I think we all know who we want to win this.
Yeah.
Are you
Demi
guys
Moore.
wi-
Demi
Okay,
Moore.
you guys are with me on that one. Good. All right, we'll move on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Mhm.
Actress in supporting role: Monica Barbaro, Complete Unknown; Ariana Grande for Wicked; Felicity Jones for The Brutalists; Elizabeth Rosanelli for Conclave; and Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. I have no preference. I'll just
Yeah,
say,
I didn't see any of these. So
out of any of the Emilia Perez ones, just give it to Zoe. Let this be the one
Yeah.
Oscar they win.
Yeah.
Give it to her, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
we
Yeah,
like
yeah.
her.
Here's one I want to talk about because it's technical aspects. And I love technical aspects of a film. Is the cinematography category.
Hmm.
Brutalist, Dune 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu.
Dune 2 and Nosferatu are the only two I need to
Same.
win, kinda. Because
Same.
like in
Yeah.
Dune 2, you think of the shot like the worms when they come out of the sand and
Uh-huh.
stuff, and it's very visual. It's awesome.
Yep.
Also, Nosferatu with like the scene in the carriage when it goes to pick him up, or the shots of the castle, or shots over the city.
I think.
Yeah, those were really
I
cool.
think like
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna want Nosferatu to win a little bit more,
Yep.
but I feel like Dune 2 is gonna win that one. I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
I
I
I
could be wrong.
I wouldn't be surprised if like a Wicked one or something. I don't
I wouldn't.
know.
Wicked might win
I
something.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
Dune's gonna win any, and that upsets me.
I think Dune. I think out of cinematography, Dune or Nosferatu. I say give it. I would like Nosferatu to win this because not sure if they can win in any other category. They might be able to, but I feel like Dune should come away with a couple of Oscars.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They're both so well shot. Like Nosferatu is to me Eggers' like best shot film. Every film he does gets better to me. Except for The Lighthouse, I thought that was a slight step back because it wasn't as good as I wanted it to
Ooh,
be. But I did
that's
like
my favorite one
that's
he's
your favorite.
done.
See, Eggers is very like his movies are so kind of out there that like I could hate that movie and you could love it, but we both like Eggers as a filmmaker. Um, although when Pattinson's killing the seagull against the rock is
Mm.
one of my favorite gifts of all time because I send that to my work group every time we're busy at work. I just send that one thing because there's seagulls flying around the restaurant all the time trying to get
Oh, that
food.
makes sense.
So every time we're busy, I send them that gift.
That's pretty good.
We're gonna just go straight into directing here.
Okay.
Nora, Brutalist, Complete Unknown, Emilia Perez, Substance.
Substance.
Gives a substance, I think.
Substance, but I think we all know the elephant in the room here. Where the fuck is Dune?
Yeah.
Again.
I don't know. What's his name is retiring now because he didn't get nominated, right? Josh Brolin said he'd retire if
Dune
the
didn't get
director
nom-
didn't get nominated.
Yeah, because they screwed him last
Yeah.
time too. Dune 1 had what, 10 or 11 nominations, and it's like you're not going to give it a directing nom. Like the director has something to do
Yeah.
with the other nominations.
Dennis killed it. Like
Yeah, Denny
he
is
was
Denis.
great.
so good. Yep, Denny is
Did Denis
fantastic.
is it Denis Villeneuve or Denis
Yes,
Villeneuve? Because I've heard it pronounced both ways.
I go with the first one. Wait, what'd you say?
Villeneuve?
Villeneuve.
Yeah,
Denis
Villeneuve.
Yeah,
Villeneuve.
I
That's
wasn't
awesome.
going to even attempt it. So
I couldn't think
Um,
of it. And they said Dennis. I'm like, well, that's not right.
something like that. I was close.
So yeah, if the substance doesn't win, as long as it's not Emilia Perez, I don't care.
Yeah.
Complete Unknown, I'd be okay with. Anora was fantastically directed, and I think the director did all the editing too in that movie. And I forget Sean Baker, I think is his name, and he knocked it out of the park with that movie.
Mhm.
I highly recommend seeing Anora and A Complete Unknown for anyone that has not seen it.
I've been trying to see it, Nora, but it's not playing. It's with theaters, but nothing in my area. So I
Yes,
had to drive like 2 hours to see it. I'm like, it ain't worth it.
yeah, it's one of those
So
like limited, like they put it back for like Oscar season. I think it was in theaters. Was it like November or December or whenever? But it wasn't even in theaters for very
January.
long. January,
I don't
maybe.
even
Yeah.
remember it coming out.
And then the Brutalist is 3.5 hours long.
Yeah, I mean the movie's so long they
So
give you an intermission. So there's that.
That's good.
Yeah, but I could not see that in theaters, and it was also very limited. So I don't even know if I could see it around me to begin with. So, All right, we'll do. Nope, you guys haven't seen any of those. So original score we will not do. Original screenplay: Anora, Brutalist, Real Pain, September 5, The Substance. September 5 is another one I want to get to because I've heard really good things about it, even though I didn't hear anything about it outside of one podcast.
This is the first time I'm hearing about it now.
It's The Real Blend is one of my favorite podcasts, and unfortunately, I think Friday's like their last show. But they're the only people that have ever talked about it. Sean O'Connell, who all the Snyder guys hate, who's friends with Zach, is like one of the co-hosts.
It's really funny.
So yeah, but for original screenplay, The Substance, 1000%. I want that to win because that's all I heard about was how good that screenplay was, and then I saw it and I was like, "Yep, that's incredible."
Yeah, people hyped it up and it lived up to the hype.
It did.
Because I watched it so late on digital release, and it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I was nervous that a lot of people wouldn't, when we did the watch long, wouldn't like it, but everyone was giving it a 9 out of 10. So
everybody liked it.
That was dope. And we're just gonna go straight into Best Picture.
Okay,
if that works for you guys.
Why not best sound design? Is there a thing for that?
You want sound design? Yeah, we can do sound design. Sound. Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Wicked, The Wild Robots.
Robot's a weird one, I think. I don't know. So what's going to win is the loudest movie, not the best sounding movie, because I always pick the loudest movie. So I think Dune 2 is going to win because it was really loud.
It was really loud. Wicked, though, has Wicked has a good shot, too, I think.
Wicked is kind of loud, but Dune 2 is louder, I think.
Yeah, it has the whole atmosphere rumbling through the theater.
I was going to say, when the snakes come out, the sandworms come out, like the entire theater was like shaking.
Yeah, you feel that.
With the RPX.
So Dune 2 is going to claim that, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. It should. It should.
Yeah, well, we're thinking like technically like of sounds, like the way the worms sound, the vehicles and storage and all that. But I swear they don't think about any of that and just think about what movie made me like almost deaf, and I guess Dune 2, because old people go see these in the Oscars, wherever the hell these are.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so Best Picture. We've got Anora, The Brutalist, Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Dune Folie à Deux. We got Wicked. We got The Substance. We got that movie. Don't even Nickel Boys. I still have never heard of that.
Yeah,
I'm Still Here and Emilia Perez.
Emilia Perez being nominated this many times is really annoying to me. I think it annoys everybody.
See, I've only heard bad things about that.
Yeah.
Either it's nominated as much or almost as much as like Lord of the Rings. Like I think Return of the King has the most.
I think it tied that.
Which is insane because that's actually like a really good movie you should watch compared to this.
And people that have seen this movie say it's not very good at all. Like they have no idea why it got so much attention. It's like people are saying it's like a 5 or maybe a 6 out of 10. Which kind of reminds me of when the Rami Malek movie there that came out. That also had pretty low audience scores for a movie, or pretty low scores for a movie considered to be Best Picture. The one about
biopic one, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody. People, I mean, it wasn't as bad as this because his performance was really good, but it also seems like a lot of people have not seen Emilia Perez.
I never even heard of it till it got nominated, and I'm like, I don't even know what this is. And then the clips online were showing up with like the songs,
Yep.
Yeah. And then I was like, this sounds horrible.
Then, what's her name started winning all the awards for it, like at the Golden Globes, and that kind of put it on people's radar. And it's like, and people that watch it are like, what are they thinking here? And then of course the controversy comes out. So it probably won't have a chance at Best Picture. It seems like Anora is tracking right now to dominate Best Picture. But for me, we all talked about it before, Dune 2 right there. But I'm just glad that like 3 of my top 5 movies of the year, which never happens, are all nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, my favorites usually never in these lists.
4 of them, because Nora is probably going to end up in my top 5 because I really enjoyed that. So Nora, Complete Unknown, Doom 2, and Substance are all in my top 5 of the year, which is insane because the Oscars are usually not for me. So now I have stuff to root for on Sunday night.
Awesome.
So yeah. All right.
Yeah, these are mostly good nominees.
Yeah.
Emily Perez is the only one that I really don't know why it's there. The rest makes sense to me.
You're right.
Wicked's a little odd to me personally because I didn't really enjoy that film as much as
Kind
the
of feels
world did.
forced in there, right?
Yeah,
Like,
well,
I don't know if
it
it's
also
forced.
it came out in November too, which is a good month for a movie like that to drop if it wants Oscar consideration. And it made a lot of money, which shouldn't be considered, but it is a very good movie from all technical aspects. It's just I'm not a huge musical fan, but I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Like going into it, I was like, 2.5 hour musical. It's only one part.
I just don't think it had like a standout song to me.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. Is the songs weren't great either.
Yeah, they were just like okay, and that's not good enough.
The only song I knew before going in was Popular because I was trending on TikTok, and yeah, the song is good still, I think, but I wasn't leaving the theater humming anything or whatever.
Right. No earworms from that.
You know, I know it's being clowned on online, but Better Man was actually a really good movie that I did see. And I think it did get nominated for visual effects or something with Planet of the Apes, I'm certain. And that was actually a very good like biopic movie, but I think it just got clowned on because about Robbie Williams and no one knows who it is, including me. So
yeah, I still got to see that. I want to see it.
I would recommend checking it out. For sure.
Okay. It's probably available now or will be shortly.
It's either I think it'll be on Paramount Plus pretty soon because it bombed like 100 million worldwide. That's it.
Yeah, which is insane considering I figured it would do well internationally because apparently he's like the biggest star ever in Europe or wherever he's from.
UK,
yeah. So, but anything else about the Oscars you all want to talk about?
Not really. I think we're
just fuck Amelia Perez.
Yeah, fuck that one. Yeah. No interest.
No interest. Moving on. We got some DCU news today. The boys are back in town. We got Hal Jordan. We got Jon Stewart. Looking good. First set photo from Lanterns. I am over the moon excited for this. Of course, a lot of people know I love Kyle Chandler ever since Friday Night Lights. One of my favorite TV shows ever. You've probably never seen this, because you don't watch football, and it was probably before your time. XO.
It was a sports thing. I definitely don't
watch it. Yeah, I didn't watch it either.
If you look up just like a clip, like clips of him like giving speeches and stuff on YouTube, they're like 7 minutes long. He's fantastic in that. And he was also in, was it called Bloodlines on Netflix? What was that Netflix show he was in?
I would not know.
That was also very popular.
I was looking for media to consume that he was in, and I couldn't really find much in like movie wise. They're all like series.
Watch the very first episode of Friday Night Lights. It's on Peacock. And then you'll see his ability. He knocks that show out.
I've watched a video on YouTube of him doing his thing.
That show's sad too. Lots of drama in that show. But yeah, so we also saw Homeboy and Rebel Ridge. You saw that, right, Sam?
Nope.
You never saw? Oh, you didn't see Rebel Ridge, and you haven't. Oh, you guys are missing out on Peak. That's in my top 10
I've only heard good things about it. It's on my watch list, and I've seen limited clips because I want to save it for the movie. But he seems great. I'm really excited for his Jon Stewart.
You've probably seen the clip of him outside the police station where he gives him the rundown of names. Is one of my favorite clips of the year. He is fantastic in that. First time I saw him was in the show Krypton. He played one of the people living on Krypton in that show, which was about Superman's grandparents. They got canceled after 2 seasons. But that show actually wasn't that bad. I think it's on like Tubi because everything's on Tubi nowadays.
Yeah, Krypton seemed like a good show. I haven't watched it yet, but
I didn't like the concept at first, but it ended up being really cool. But of course, what we got to look at was the rings. Different rings. XO, explain why you think he has a different ring.
All right, so My first impression was that he has a different ring because he's a older Green Lantern, so he was in a different batch essentially of Green Lanterns than Guy Gardner will be. But that's just my first impression, and
so the ring basically evolves over time with the lanterns, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
The ring conform to like what the person.
It could also mean nothing, and it could just be like this is how they want their rings to look,
right? Or this could be his ring. Fair. And of course, we didn't see John Stewart's ring, so we don't know if he's got the same exact ring as Hal or not. And we also don't know when this might take place in the timeline. I assume it takes place after Superman, though.
Yeah.
I
just thought it was crazy. 2 guys walking created so much disarray on Twitter. Like,
yeah, everyone.
I shouldn't be surprised anymore.
Yeah, everyone's in suits already, and it's like,
I would rather look and see like Aaron Pierre does not have the ring on. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Mm-hmm. That's something. Like, all right, we got Hal with the ring, and John Stewart does not have the ring yet, and that gives me as a fan something to just think about. Like, and I love that.
Why would you want them in their suits this early into filming? Because clearly they have not done the
Superman has not come out yet.
But like for the Lanterns, like obviously they haven't done any of the post work on the suits or done.
Yeah, was it been a week?
Yeah, they started filming a week and a half, I think.
Yeah, so this is nice to see, like just little crumbs. Yeah, just give me crumbs. Yeah.
I'm excited.
It's just a photo saying like, "Hey, we're on set. We started filming. This is the first look," and then everyone wants more right away, and it's like you gotta wait.
Yep.
It's just wait.
Yeah. It's like when they have released some weird set photos to begin things off, especially with like Superman. But it's like
that was pretty rough. Yeah.
I honestly don't think James Gunn gives a shit about that stuff.
Yeah,
I honestly don't think he cares. Like the internet is what cares. I don't think he gives a. I don't think he cares. Like he's like, "Yep, here's a photo of Superman. Have at it." Mm-hmm. Like.
Yeah,
judge the movie when it comes out. Yeah, judge it when it comes out.
That poster we have for Superman probably would have been a better reveal of the suit than the reveal of the suit we got, for being honest.
Yeah, more than
I love what we got. Little pieces, and then it felt grand. I liked the releasing of. We only have one trailer and one poster so far, so that's going to get ramped up real soon.
Looks good so far, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can't wait. Once the marketing kicks into full gear, I already got my nephew's the Superman toothbrush. I'm going to bring him down when I go down there next month. So looking forward to that. Get them into Superman early. But yeah, one more look at them walking down the street, and Hal looks a little haggard. Hal looks a little haggard there.
They're having theories like this is going to be a small town mystery thing, and like they were saying that Alan Scott, the Green Lantern that was before them.
The OG,
that isn't connected to the core. For some reason, I don't really know. He's not my favorite, so I kind of just like brushed him to the side. But they say like he's dead, and they're trying to figure out his murder. I don't know how much truth that is. But
okay, I was actually thinking when everything was announced that maybe Guy Gardner dies in Superman or something, but they wouldn't be. Then we found out it's like a small town, so it's like Guy Gardner wouldn't be in Metropolis, then die in East buttfuck Texas or wherever they are right now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
I hope he shows up in the series though. Just like a little quick pop up would be nice.
It would be nice. Yeah, we have no idea if he's even in the series. We don't know if. I assume Jon Stewart's gonna be in the movies later on, but they're talking now about how this is kind of disconnected from the main storyline of the DCU.
Yeah.
But I assume like Jon Stewart won't be, but I could see like if they get a season 2 of this, then that's where we're going to see more of Hal Jordan, assuming he doesn't die, which I don't think he'll die.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I thought when he first got casted, because everybody said like, "Oh, he's going to die." Seeing him now, like, I don't think he's going to die. I think he's just going to be the like authority figure.
Yeah,
and
I think he would retire before he. Like, I think they would have him like retire or whatever before he dies. Can you retire from the Green Lantern? I don't really know.
I'm not sure. Not sure how that works.
Maybe you have to find someone wanting the ring to pass it on to, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not.
I'm pretty sure you could just like release it. Like, I don't want the ring no more. I think you could do that.
Maybe.
Why would you want to? I would use that ring for everyday tasks. Like
I'm brushing my teeth with it.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Make your own plane. Go anywhere you want.
I'm flying.
That would be a nice ability to have, the Green Lantern ring.
Yeah.
So
Power of will.
we have some other news today, or technically yesterday.
Yesterday?
Not from the DCU, but Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, good news.
Out, yes, good
Great
news. Very good news. Out in
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
She
It's not dead, luckily.
single-handedly turned Star Wars from a movie theater franchise into a TV franchise. And the only movie that's coming out that we know about for sure is based on a TV show. I'll be a very good TV show, but still a TV show nonetheless. Thoughts?
I mean,
like, great.
I'm happy with it. I don't know who's going to take her place, whether it's like Dave or someone else, but I'm happy she's gone. I do not. I think the Jedi games are the real only standout of her era that I loved. And Mando's great, but like forcing it into a movie seems a little weird to me.
Yep,
it's dumb.
Seems desperate.
It is.
In fact,
like if it was a Disney Plus movie, sign me up.
Yeah,
Throw it in theaters for like a month if you want, but
then put it in Disney Plus.
Made for Disney Plus, and then put it on the service. That would work.
They're not
out
doing
way
that.
Better. Yep. I mean, to me, that's how I would have wrapped up the show. I would have just done a Disney Plus 2.5 hour Mandalorian movie.
Yeah. I don't know why it's a movie. I think it's really dumb.
Very.
It's like, oh, you want to see this movie? Well, you have to watch 3 seasons of Mandalorian, season of Book of Boba Fett, and a season of Ahsoka. Then you can watch this movie.
Yeah.
And you're caught up. Because it's like, imagine like you only see the movies and you go and you never watch any TV show ever. And you go see this new Star Wars movie and you're like, who's Ahsoka? Who's Mando? Who's Grogu? Who's you have no idea who these people are. It's an immediate mess. So I have no idea how that's going to turn out at all. I think that's a total misfire, but I'm glad she's gone because, you know,
I'm glad. Okay, go on. Sorry.
When Star Wars started with her in charge and stuff, we were only focused on like the OG trilogy stuff.
Yep.
So Battlefront 2015 came out. It was only the OG trilogy. There's no prequel stuff whatsoever. The sequel trilogy was made to reminisce of the OG trilogy. The new Jedi games are technically within the OG trilogy timeline still.
Yeah.
And when Battlefront 2 came out in 2017, people had to beg for more prequel content. So because people like me that are younger, grew up with those.
I mean,
love those.
I love the prequels.
And like, I'm obviously a fan of the OG because that's what I grew up on. But in 2015, if you are 15 because you were born in the year 2000, what Star Wars content do you hold more sacred to your heart? Obviously, prequels. I mean, her tenure is going to be defined by the fact that she announced 9 different projects for film, and none of them got made.
Literally none.
Literally not a single fucking one. That Patty Jenkins one, I don't care about Wonder Woman 84. I don't care about Wonder Woman 84. I wanted to see that movie because I think Patty Jenkins would have done fine. It's like they get these directors on because they're like, oh, this person's hot at this moment.
Yeah.
And then they have a bomb like Wonder Woman 84 or Thor, the last Thor movie.
Taika Waititi.
And they're like, Taika, sorry, can't do Star Wars now. You're out because you had one movie that wasn't very popular. One movie that was mid. Like, I'm sorry you're halfway through, your script or whatever, but like Wonder Woman 84, same thing. Let's get rid of her because God forbid she made a shit DC movie.
Which is pretty easy to do.
Yeah. When there's zero leadership in the building.
It was pretty bad though. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, that movie ruined like Christmas.
I think she did have complete control over that one though.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. This was her dream Wonder Woman project.
Yeah. Yep. Her and Jeff Johns pretty much had complete control.
Her dream.
It shows.
Yeah.
To say the dream sometimes. You just have to see dreams.
It's like Jeff Johns. It's like, what are you doing? You're so good in the comics. Where'd you go wrong?
Yeah, he didn't know how to. I mean, it's different mediums, so that's one big part of it.
Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't translate.
He is incredible in the comics. Fantastic comic writer. I've liked pretty much everything that he's done. Like, he's not like the greatest, but he's very good. Like, he's very entertaining. He writes good stories.
His Green Lantern's his best work.
I can't wait to read Green Lantern by him.
Yeah, you're gonna love it.
Because I've heard nothing but incredible things, which is why I saw it on the shelf, and I'm like, I guess I'm getting that today.
Yeah, his like Superman, in my opinion, is a little weak, but like he thrives in Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I can't wait to actually read it because that's all I've heard. I've heard nothing but great things about that run. Zan, have you ever read any Green Lantern?
Only volume 1 of Earth 1. That's the only one I've read.
Yep. That's a good one, though. I still got to read volume 2.
Yeah, I have volume 2 ready. It's just unopened.
It's really hard for me to just sit down and read. There's a lot of comics. I am reading like the Absolute stuff as they come out, but that's the only thing.
I can't wait for August.
Which is, I mean, the great thing about those is me and you are both month to month, so it's like, okay, great. It's not much of a task to flip through a new Absolute, as opposed to like cracking open a big book. Is like I was talking to EXO before we got on, like. He can read like 300 pages in a whack. I can't do that. My eyes hurt. I'd rather just not. I'm good for like 100 pages. So like these omnibuses and stuff are just too much for me sometimes.
Yeah. Omnibuses are scary.
Yeah. Like I was telling you, the Invincible one was like 1,000 pages and was
compendiums.
Yeah. The compendium. Yeah.
I always remember Final Crisis Omnibus. It just ruined the whole thing for me. It's just like, be done already. I even got the hardcover of Final Crisis, the Absolute at that, just so I could forget about everything else. Like, let me just reread it without it being tainted with all these like side things going on that I don't care about.
Yeah.
Like it was called like Revelations or something with Montoya and the Spectre, and I'm like, I'm checked out.
You checked out?
Yeah, and I'm like 300 pages into this book. It's like, dang. Don't want to pick it up ever again. So I always remember that when I pick up books.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. I like to complete things, but then like I'll be like reading an omnibus and I'm like, all right, sweet. I just read 120 pages and I'm like, fuck, I got another 800 to go. Do I have time for this? Like, what are my plans tomorrow?
No, I gotcha. Like I try to get the omnibuses and actually like or omnibus, whatever. I try to read them, and then I get like, yeah, I did like good 50 pages. I'm gonna continue this tomorrow, and then I don't continue anymore.
Yeah, that's what happens with me. Yep.
Which is why I like 50 pages. That's when I'm locking in. Like the first pages, 30 pages are hard because like I can't just snap into it. So like the first issue, I'm like struggling to get into it. The second one, I'm locking in.
You won't be with the Absolutes. Those are fantastic from the jump. I love them.
Yeah, they're really good.
I haven't read the Wonder Woman yet, but I got that pre-ordered.
I read volume 1 of each.
It's the best one. I actually did read the volume 1 of Wonder Woman, but yeah.
I think Batman is my favorite, but might be biased because Batman's my favorite.
Batman's really cool.
Batman one's awesome. I'm waiting for issue 6 to come out, and then I'll read 5 and 6 together. Because that's the end of the first run, which was originally supposed to be 5 issues, but they had too much story to tell. And then we're getting, I think Mr. Freeze is coming up, and that looks scary as hell. And
I love that design.
Scott Snyder said that when he does Scarecrow, it's nightmare fuel. Like Scarecrow is gonna be very scary. Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah, I seen him post that, and I'm like, yeah, villains should be fucking scary.
Yep.
Like they should be scary as shit.
It's usually like kind of like he's like the fear toxin's cool, but he's actually like a wimp. He's beat up easily.
Yep.
Yeah, behind the mask.
But I always thought Scarecrow had potential to be really cool if you really want to lock in with that character.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got a good amount of Scarecrow just from the Nolan trilogy alone, but having an alternate take on it is cool.
In the Nolan trilogy, he gets taken out by a girl with a taser.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I didn't say it was good content. I said we got some content.
Yeah, I take Arkham Knight Scarecrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Or even Arkham Asylum.
I was gonna say, or even the animated series. I love the animated series Scarecrow also, which was my introduction to the character.
My intro was Asylum. I think Arkham Asylum.
I don't know my intro. Probably the animated series because that's what I grew up on.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching that every Saturday when it was happening because I'm old as fuck.
That came out in '92, right?
Yeah, I was 9. Yeah. Good times. Good times.
Well, it's cool. Two of my favorite Batman villains are going to be coming up. I didn't know. I was keeping up with the I
Yep.
don't like to keep up with like what's coming. I like to be surprised usually with stuff like
Didn't
that.
mean to
So
spoil things, but it's just I've seen him
no,
talking on Twitter and stuff like that. So I'm just
no big
excited about
deal.
it. So, um, have you seen the design of Mr. Freeze?
I've not seen Mr.
Okay,
Freeze.
cool. It's cool. It's not what you'd expect from what I've seen.
Okay.
So I look forward to that. But yeah, you guys got anything else?
No, I'm pretty good.
Cool.
Well, I just have one question because
Yes.
we talked about Kathleen Kennedy leaving Star Wars. So,
Yep.
what is your now that Kathleen Kennedy's gone? What do you hope to see with Star Wars more?
Okay.
For me, it's Old Republic. Do that. Lock in. Get Keanu Reeves to play Revan, and just do that. You have legends there that people love. People like these things, these stories. So tell those stories instead of ones that like are new or so.
Yeah, we hear you, but we're gonna do a Ray movie again. I think that's what people really
See,
want.
here's what I would do with them is I would do what James Gunn did, release the Mandalorian movie, obviously, because they've already sunk whatever amount of money into that, and
Yeah.
then from there just distance yourself from the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Don't do the Ray movie, and just get somebody. Do what she should have done from the beginning. Get somebody to creatively oversee Star Wars. I'm not saying it has to be Dave Filoni because honestly, I don't want it to be Dave Filoni. I want Dave Filoni to be working with that person. I hope it's somebody we don't know about. But just get somebody in there that can keep things structured. Because like I know that like obviously George Lucas is a goddamn genius. Kathleen Kennedy is a really good producer. George Lucas was able to go by basically make things up on the fly because he's good enough to do that. You can't do that, especially when you have 30 years of storytelling to live up to.
Yeah, like all this lore. You gotta
you gotta hire the writers. Like it should have been one writer for the entire trilogy and hire directors that will work with them. But they wanted to pump the movies out so quickly that they were just like, "You're a fan. Here's a movie. Oh, Rian Johnson. I love Rian Johnson, but
Abrams
you want to do this?
mistake.
Here's your trilogy." Because of course he went in there to pitch just a regular movie, and they were like, "Do you want to just do episode 8?" And of course he was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, because why wouldn't you? Like
obviously as a fan, he was like, "Yeah."
Sign me up till you get started, and you're like, "Oh, I'm too deep in it."
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, you want me to work with Luke Skywalker? Yeah, I'll do that over my own trilogy first, and then I'll work on my own trilogy. And again, that's not going to happen because Kathleen Kennedy announces things and then cancels them.
Is it officially canceled?
I mean, I think it's still on Rian Johnson's IMDb page, but I mean,
it was announced 7-8 years ago.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, we have Mangold on Dawn of the Jedi. I would like to still see
he's somebody that you could actually keep what he's doing, but like again, that won't be even like I said, get rid of all the sequel trilogy stuff. Mangold can do that if he wants to. If I was in charge, because I trust Mangold with my life.
That's what he wanted to do. Yeah. He wanted to do Dawn of the Jedi, and I read that comic. It's really good.
Yeah, and I mean he just killed it with Complete Unknown. He directed that.
Yeah, he also did Dial of Destiny. If you want to forget that one,
he did. But I also don't blame him because that was a lot of studio bullshit and everything that made the budget rise. And
I would be on your side more if he didn't defend it and say it wasn't as bad as everyone said it was or something. I'm like, nah, it was pretty rough, man. That was a pretty rough movie.
I believe what I said was at least it's not ending with aliens. I enjoyed that Indiana Jones did not end with aliens.
Okay,
I liked it. I liked it way more than 4. So, I mean, obviously, it didn't touch the original trilogy, and also
I'm not a big fan of Indiana Jones to begin with. So
that's crazy.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's what most people usually said.
I love the trilogy.
Yeah, I hated aliens, and I liked the last scene they wrapped up Indy 5 with, but overall, it's not worth revisiting.
5 has nothing memorable about it to me.
Climb.
At least like 4 had a really cool beginning. Like Crystal Skull had a really cool beginning, and then once he starts talking about the aliens, that's when the movie just kind of goes like this.
Yep. 5 really lost its way, especially when wasn't there like time travel? Yeah, that was not great.
I mean, Touchdown could have been kind of neat. I can't even lie. I don't think that's too far for Indiana Jones because you already have like
it could have been cool, but it also depends on execution.
Yeah, I guess Spoilers, I guess, real quick for Dial of Destiny, if you care. I don't
I
care.
don't.
So movie's bad, you shouldn't see it anyways.
Yeah, go
And
ahead.
The problem with the ending of Dial of Destiny is he time travels back in time, and then he just wants to give up and like die there. And
oh
that's
yeah, that
really
did
lame
happen.
for the character.
That
And
did
then he didn't
happen.
even leave on his own merit. Like the Phoebe Waller-Bridge character just knocked him out and basically forced kidnapped him back in his own time. Like
That's
that's so
right.
stupid.
And they
Like
were
how
only
why
back
would
in time for like 15 minutes. Was it even that long? Like,
maybe 15? It was cool, like build up.
yeah,
Because the plot is the Germans want to go back to 1949 or 43 or
yeah,
1939,
yes.
and the, Indiana Jones in the plane realizes we're not going back to 1939, and then you're in Greece and there's like a war. It's actually kind of cool because I was like, "What's going on? What are we doing?" And then we ends, and then it's like, "All right, I guess it's over." Should have started there, to be honest. Have like a Indiana Jones in Greece. That would probably more interesting.
That would have been, yeah. Did Mangold write that movie though? That was my other
I don't
question.
know who wrote it,
Okay, I
but
hope he
other
didn't.
worth looking into, I guess.
Yeah, it would be. But I would like his Star Wars movie. I mean, everyone has a bad day at the office. Spielberg has made bad movies, so
Yeah, you
Yeah.
let him
can't
do
you
Well,
his Star
can't
Wars thing.
be 10 for 10. You know, you
Yeah,
can't be perfect. You can't bat a
exactly.
thousand. Is what I'm trying to say.
I'm
Yep.
saying like he worked once with Lucasfilm and he made that. So what
Yeah, I know what
happens?
you're
He works with
saying.
Lucasfilm
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
So I'd rather him not do that unless he can really lock in with it or something, I guess.
right.
But
I mean, it is a passion project, so hopefully
Yeah,
he would be in charge
he's
of doing all the writing and stuff like that. So, and it's distancing itself from the sequel trilogy, which I love. So,
mhm.
yeah, just
Yeah,
get away
like
from that.
as
yeah, just
far as
get away from
possible,
it. Yes,
literally, and
yes.
that's what I like the idea. So,
I mean,
if,
that
like you
sequel
said,
trilogy
if you
was
could
able
lock
to,
in, that'll be
yeah,
good.
lock in with that. And that sequel trilogy was basically like the OG fans that didn't like the prequels and the prequel fans that stand up for the prequels. They all kind of united to say, "Fuck those movies."
Well, I was defensive of 7 and 8, and then like 9
Yep.
comes out. I'm like, I can't defend this anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was the
that's.
same because I enjoyed those two. I'm
I'll
like,
always defend 8, but
yeah, and then like the last one is like, we're just gonna bring this guy back and nobody's gonna say anything about it. Like,
Not somehow
it's not
Palpatine
okay.
returned, man.
Not
He's
okay.
back.
yeah,
You
somehow.
He's
can't do
back.
that.
No, it's okay. The Bad Batch explains it. You should watch Bad Batch, and then you'll
Oh,
know after the movie
yeah.
comes out.
Oh my god. Yeah, and
It
then
all
they
makes
did
sense
they
now.
tricked everyone with the they gave young Yoda there on Mandalorian. They gave Grogu that power and they pushed that episode up just so people would understand it going into episode 9. Remember that? The
Yeah.
healing, the force healing or whatever. And it's like that's been in the building
Yeah.
all this time. Then they just fucked the entire first 6 movies if that's been a thing.
See,
Yeah,
like
the only thing you could do is like think like, oh, the force evolves. The force
I
evolves.
guess. I
Okay.
guess.
I
I
always
like
took it
makes
personally
sense.
as like, he's a baby, he doesn't know any better, so he's using things maybe he shouldn't or doesn't know what he's doing or capable of or something. So it's kind of like making it work in my
Yep.
head, and then watch Rise of Skywalker, and she just force heals. It's like,
That's the
okay,
thing. Like, I didn't mind it for
Yeah.
Baby Yoda because that was cool. And then like all of a sudden, because it's like okay, it's a baby Yoda, he should be powerful, and then she's
Yeah.
just doing it willy nilly in episode 9. It's like, huh,
yeah.
Well, we
wasn't that
still don't
impressive?
know what the creatures are that these Yoda creatures are. So
Right.
they could
Hopefully,
just
we
be.
never know.
Yeah,
Keep it
I agree.
unknown.
I agree.
Leave
Keep
it.
that a mystery. Lock
Yep.
that up.
Leave it
Just.
ambiguous.
Mm-hmm. I like it
Absolutely.
like that. Like,
Yeah. Not
We now
everything needs exposition or
yeah.
explanation. You know.
now we know that you can be 50 years old and a baby. That's so I don't know what age Yoda became an adult or what age becomes an old man. Maybe
I
hit
guess.
900, became old. I don't
I
know.
I guess he hits the
Yeah.
adulthood around age 210, 210.
210,
Yeah.
210 years of baby, just
Yeah.
freeloading. All right.
Because he was what 940 when he died, give or take.
I think
900.
I don't know. I assumed he was just right at 900, 903 or
Okay,
something.
okay. Yeah, I think he was probably supposed to be like 900 in like Empire, and then whatever he was,
I
however
think
long.
Return of the Jedi is
Jedi.
might be 3 years later.
Okay,
Might be.
nice.
But what I want for Star Wars is I'm saying it, just jump 1,000 years before or a
Hmm.
thousand years after, do your own
Yes,
thing. You can be really creative. You're kind of rid of that,
Mhm.
you know, and you can tell your own story with your own vehicles, your own
Hmm.
lightsabers, your own whatever. You could really do something interesting with those periods where you're not forced to use clone troopers or stormtroopers or whatever.
Yeah,
You could
Yeah.
do your own
you
thing.
could
And
do
Star
a
Wars
new
is
thing.
way bigger than just the Skywalker legacy.
Hmm.
It's way bigger than that. And the fact that they made Rey a pseudo Skywalker at the end of Episode 9.
I can't
Ray
accept that.
Skywalker now.
And
Ray
Okay.
Palpatine.
that scene is written by the
Okay.
same guy that did Martha, and it was just very upsetting.
Can you
Yeah.
get
Very upsetting.
adopted as an adult?
I don't think
No.
so. No.
That
But you
doesn't-
adopted
No,
the
that's-
last name.
Yeah,
You
she
can
adopted
change
the
your
last
Yeah.
name whenever you want.
Yeah.
You're an
Yeah.
adult.
So she was basically
So-
like,
She's like, fuck it.
I'm-
Skywalker sounds cool.
I'm Ray Skywalker now. It's like, I
like-
don't like you though.
I know
Yeah.
Zan watched Red Letter Media. I like what they said about the end of Episode 9, where they were like, it should have been the lady from the first episode. In the
My
sand.
bones are aching in. The storms are coming.
Yep. I love that show. Those guys are geniuses. Even
It's
if
like that would have been
they
really
shit on
funny.
things I like. I love it.
That's great.
But yeah, XO, watch Red Letter Media. They're fantastic. Watch their
Yeah, I heard-
Snyder reviews.
I heard about him, but have never watched him.
Oh, they're hilarious. I
Yeah.
used to play them on. I used to watch like their videos in full. Now I just have like in the background.
Yeah, that's
They still
yep.
pay attention.
Yep. I had
They're
one on when I
great.
was doing the slides for tonight. I had one on in the background for their Dawn of Justice review, which is
Oh, I watched that recently too.
fantastic.
Oh, it's so
Fantastic.
funny. Because I remember BVS was coming out, and then like the reviews were coming out, saying it was bad, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna see it anyways." And I was
Yeah.
like, "That was way worse than I thought it was gonna be." And then,
Mhm.
oh man, because it was like BVS versus Civil War. What's me better? And BVS came out, and I'm like, I hope Civil War is nothing like that. It better be good. And Civil War is actually pretty great when it came.
Yep.
It was also amazing when it came out because it was like
Oh yeah.
their heroes fighting each other, Spider-Man first appearance, and all that
I mean,
stuff. And then
It was an Avengers
also
movie
compared to
with Spider-Man.
BVS, you're gonna excel in
Yep.
every way. You don't have to try.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, the Russos know what they're doing with this comic book stuff.
We will
So-
see. It's the new stuff coming out. We'll see if
That-
they can cook again.
That does
I don't
worry
know.
me because they're apparently supposed to shoot. Granted, this is all based on reports, which you can't really trust. But they're supposed to shoot in April, and apparently the script isn't ready, which is kind of
Oh.
concerning.
That happens a lot, unfortunately.
So yeah, I mean,
It's due next year. I need you to work on it now.
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
care what you do. So
Which is why I'm glad the DCU is taking a completely different approach, where they're not going to even get a director or cast until they have a
Script
script.
first.
where's
Script
my
first.
Wonder Woman? They're supposed to announce it today.
Yeah.
He said he was working on it.
I like-
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, well, what's the alternative? We get a Wonder Woman Project Force, what, written by AI? Like,
I've-
No, we
who's
get the
writing
Batman
this?
versus Superman guy to write it again.
Yeah. I mean, I saw somebody on Twitter that was basically like, "You want Wonder Woman? Then fucking write it yourself." Like, what do you want? Like, if they don't
Yeah.
have a script for it, they're not going to announce it, or they're not going to go into production. They're not going to get it directed.
Yeah.
And I mean,
They're
probably
working
stay
on the
away from it
pilot
a while.
for the Amazonian series.
Yeah,
So
That's-
it's like,
that's first, and then we'll get Wonder Woman later. Like I said, James probably doesn't want to be part of the crew that touches Wonder Woman. So it's depending on how long he's going to be around. I don't know when we're going to get her, but we're getting the Amazonian show, so she might appear in that. I don't know, depending.
maybe at the end.
Nobody
I
really
don't
knows
know.
what that show's about.
You could go anywhere you want. They could do like a full, fresh, new thing, and
Oh yeah,
it could work.
definitely.
See what happens.
Yep, the future is a mystery for sure. But I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to it because once Superman hits, we go right into Peacemaker. Then that goes.
Yeah, like,
Hopefully, I'm hoping
We got
Lanterns
2 weeks.
comes out. Hoping Lanterns comes out in like February or March to kill some dead time before Supergirl.
Yeah, I thought it was going to come after Supergirl, but now that I'm thinking about it, like you're going to have us wait August to June doesn't seem
Yeah,
quite right.
Right. like Peacemaker will end sometime in September.
Like,
I'm
mhm.
guessing, or maybe like the first week of October, give or take, whenever it launches in August. And so it'd be cool if we could roll into something for the spring, watch something, or who knows? They said Creature Commandos is fast track. Maybe they'll give us season 2 of that before
Yeah,
Supergirl. and
that'd
then
be
do Lanterns
cool.
in the summer after Supergirl.
Yeah.
Lanterns in like July.
That was a surprise. I didn't expect
yeah.
that to be as good as it was. So I enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I would.
but nobody watched it, Zan.
Oh yeah, that's right. I watched it. Season 2 isn't coming out. They're just throwing money at the wall, seeing what sticks. Season 1 flopped. Oh fuck! And
Yep.
Season 2 now.
Yep. I texted my cousin's husband, who I'm super close with, and I was like telling him all about like James Gunn DC. This is like the week the Creature Commandos came out, and I was like, "There's a show on HBO. You should check it out called Creature Commandos." He's like, "Yeah, I've already seen 2 episodes." And I'm like, he's like your general audience because he honestly doesn't really care. He just likes James Gunn stuff. So when he sees, like, he saw it on the HBO thing, like from James Gunn, he was like, "Oh, guess I'll watch that." So
yeah,
that's how was encouraging.
Cool.
Peacemaker was popular when it was coming up because I was talking. I worked at the warehouse at the time, and there's an older fella about like 20 years older than me, 30 years older than me maybe, and he's like, "Yeah, I started watching Peacemaker, and it's really good," you know.
Yep.
And I was like, "Really? You watched it? Why?" He's like, "I like John Cena," and I was like, "Okay." You know,
Fair.
John,
Yep.
I never saw him, but apparently he's in the show. So
Yeah, I didn't like John Cena specifically until we got as Peacemaker. I'm like, oh wow, he's a really cool guy.
Yeah, he was.
I see why people like him.
Suicide Squad, and then I mean, he came up with pretty much his character is basically was created by him and James at the same time.
Yeah,
what I heard, they sat together during COVID for the show, and they were just getting ready for the show, and they were basically like, "This is where we're going to take it. We want this to basically be DC's like Deadpool or whatever, comedic wise." And they took it from there, and then James wrote it, and I loved season 1 of Peacemaker.
Yeah, it was actually pretty.
You go into the series hating the guy. You hate him. You don't want a series from him. And you're like, what the fuck? You're like, what the heck? Why are you getting this? And then you start forming attachments towards him. I'm like, that's good storytelling right there.
Yep. His dad's a Nazi and he like killed his brother. Like they gave us very good storytelling throughout. And yes, there is some immature humor, but that's just how Peacemaker deals with the world.
I mean, adults usually go to humor to like escape their lives. I know that's why I make jokes and stuff just to escape. So like
people don't know how to pay attention, which is really frustrating. Is you're not laughing at the stuff Peacemaker's doing, you're laughing at him annoying people he's with. You're not laughing at the fart joke. You're laughing at the people being like, "Are you serious? Are you
you're laughing at the thought of the fart joke."
Is this a real person right now? Like,
and you've been in if you're a real human being, you've been in situations where someone will act that way, and you're like, "Are you being serious? Are you really saying?"
Yeah.
When my grandmother was in the hospital back in the day, my uncle comes in the room and he's like eating popcorn. My grandmother's like sleeping with her mouth open. He's like, "Think I can make the shot?" Think I can make the shot? And my mother was like, "John, get the hell out of here." So yeah, I mean, people deal with things different ways. Comedy is usually the best relief for me and anything I've experienced in my life. Comedy is a comfort, I feel like, for most people. Yeah, and they deal with stuff that way. So
laugh it off.
Yep. But yes,
and that goes with all like not all of James Gunn's humor, but like like. In Guardians 3, like it's not funny that Drax is laying down the couch and thinks it's oblong shaped. I have to lay down. You're laughing because you've been in a situation where you've had to explain it to like a kid or something.
Yes.
And he's acting like a kid. And you're so you're laughing in that way. So people just don't pay attention to the wrong thing and just cling to the wrong thing. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, I had friends that were adults that are acting like children. So like I was sitting there like telling somebody to grow up, and it's like I see why he was acting like that now.
Yep.
Not to justify it, but
right.
But that's how people act sometimes. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Peacemaker's great.
Peacemaker, fantastic. Hopefully, Lanterns turns out well. I mean, the other thing about Lanterns too is it's an HBO show. It's not a Max show, so HBO doesn't put anything on their network that's subpar. Like, have you ever watched a bad show on HBO?
No.
Like there might be a show you don't like, but like it's not like they're typically not like, oh, this is poorly made.
Max will have bad shows like Velma and The Prince and
Max will,
stuff,
but HBO
Max will
typically
just throw crap out. But
oh yeah, they definitely will. But the main HBO will not because they have standards.
Was Peacemaker also on HBO? Was that on?
It was just on Max. Which is why the Snyder fans were up in arms when they were saying it was the most watched original on Max, and they were like, "There's no way more people watch that than Euphoria." So Euphoria was an HBO show, not a Max show. Creature Commandos was another Max show. that can be a dumping ground for cheaper productions that they might not have as much faith in. Of course, with everything that was going on at the time Peacemaker released, it just made sense to just put it on Max because they were just trying to pump up their streaming service at that
Well,
time.
yeah, because wasn't also same day streaming as Max in theaters that same year,
The Suicide
2021?
Squad, yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, Suicide
But
Squad,
like,
Kong,
that was
yep.
Mortal
kind of
Kombat.
cool. That was pretty cool. Like getting those releases at home when you're trapped in the house. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that.
And I mean, you
Yeah.
guys know me. I work a lot in August, so I didn't have a chance to get to the movie theater on my day off. So it came out like on my day off. So I was like, oh, perfect. I can just stay at home. Don't have to drive, go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because that would have been a movie I would have seen in theaters if it wasn't straight to Max at the same
Yeah.
time.
That
Unfortunately, I feel like it had like an effect where now movies come out way sooner on streaming.
I hope they get
And
rid of that. I mean,
it's so annoying.
we all just watched The Companion. That was in theaters for
3 days.
17 days or 14 days before.
that
yeah,
was like
I
30.
went on the
No,
last
it was
day.
2 weeks, I believe.
2 weeks.
It came out in January, and it was
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like 2 weeks. And I
Late
seen like I
January.
was trying to go the week after, but they didn't have it left IMAX. I was like, oh crap. Like
Yep.
we gotta go like
Mhm.
tomorrow.
I saw it in theaters the
I
first
wish I
week it
did.
came out.
I wish I
It was
did.
good.
Yeah, I was just
It
waiting
was
for
really good.
time, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Oh, it's coming out in like a week," and I'm like, "What?"
It just came out. I just
Yeah.
saw it.
And it's really good. Like, I hate January because people don't go to the movies, but that movie was really good.
Well,
And
January used to be a dumping ground.
it still kind of
like,
is, but every now and then you
kinda.
get something. I like when we get a good horror movie in like January. Like they dropped one or two of the Screams in January. I think it was the
I think
Scream
5
5.
was January.
Yeah, I believe it was.
And that was actually
Um,
really good.
Yeah, and like
Probably
I saw
all-
like The Beekeeper did pretty well in January, but that was a little lower budget. I enjoyed that movie, but
It was
That movie
okay.
I was gonna see that. I didn't know it came out. Oh wait, no, that was a year ago I saw. What movie I'm thinking of? There's a new one he's doing. Construction Man.
that comes out in
something?
March. Yeah, that the one about the
Okay.
child trafficking.
I
Yeah.
got them mixed because
Yeah, yeah.
Jason
They're-
Statham's in
They're
both.
literally the same movie. But just one's about
Yeah.
child trafficking and one is about stealing people's money. But
Okay.
it looks like it's the same thing. So I'll probably enjoy that too because David Ayer's directing it. And
Yeah, I'm
I
not a
like
big
most of the stuff
fan
he
of
does.
air stuff. Like it's just whatever to me. Beekeeper was cool, but like will I ever watch it again is the question. Probably not.
I've seen it
Yeah.
a handful of times. I liked obviously he made one of my favorite World War II movies. I loved Fury.
Fury's great.
That movie
I like
in
Fury a
theater
lot.
that had some great sound design in
Oh, I
theater.
saw it way later.
Yeah, I like that
But-
movie a lot. And he's also written one of my dad's favorite movies, U-571, and he wrote one of my favorite movies, Training Day. So, and he also kicked off the Fast and Furious franchise. So that could be good or bad, depending.
I mean, good to start. So I've heard.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of those.
Yeah, he did the first one, which is much more street level than they are now. Now they're like going to space and shit.
Yeah, I mean, which one had like the trailer with like the submarine under the ice and stuff like that?
Oh,
I
that
forget
was
which one.
8.
8?
That was
Eight?
after the first 7 are worth watching. After that, it just gets ridiculous. When Paul Walker
So-
was involved, those are the ones you watch, the Paul Walker ones.
Yeah, I watched to like 5 and I was like, yeah, no. I like Tokyo Drift is really cool.
Tokyo Drift's cool.
I always
5
grew up loving that
5
movie.
might be my 5 might actually be like my favorite one as far as the new ones.
What was the last one where there was a car in a skyscraper?
That was probably
That's-
9. I don't think I've
that's
seen that one.
The last one I
still haven't-
watched.
It's been out for
and it
2 years.
wasn't
I haven't
good.
seen it.
I saw Hobbs and Shaw. That's the only one I've seen.
Hobbs and
Right,
Shaw's not
didn't
bad.
see that.
But
It was pretty whatever. I was
Yeah.
like, what is this movie? I don't understand.
It's
It
like-
has the Invisible Woman in it. Not
Yep.
that much.
yeah, that was like
Her name.
just an action movie to throw on when you want to watch an action movie on a Friday night. Not much to really talk about with that movie.
I remember The Rock eating pancakes. That's what I remember. It was cheat day.
It was cheap.
That's what I remember. That's all I remember from that movie.
Yeah, I don't remember much. I just remember it had him and Jason Statham in it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I jumped ship right before that movie came out. I was just
Mhm.
over it.
My friend used to work at the movie theater and he got a ticket. Oh no, someone came up to him with the ticket, says, I want to see Hobbs and Shaw. How come it says Fast and the Furious on it? And he goes, because it's called Fast and the Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw.
They didn't even know it was connected.
Yeah, I guess you didn't read the full title because it says on the board, Fast and Furious
Yep.
presents.
That's
So I
pretty
guess you
funny.
didn't want to pay attention.
All right.
Yeah.
Good show tonight,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Did you have fun, Zan?
It was all right, I guess. It was fun.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
we're going to get you on some more. How
Yeah.
long we been going?
Hour and
An
5
hour.
minutes, my friend.
Damn. That's
Yep.
a long time.
Yep. Having a third person always makes it like that. Like me and Ray started, we were doing about just over an hour, and then we started bringing in like my friend Chris, and all of a sudden, like the first show he was on went like 2 hours and 1 minute. And because you get that extra opinion, the extra topic, stuff like that. It's always more fun with friends. More fun.
Yeah,
with more
it's
people around.
definitely funner with
Yes.
friends.
You can bounce off people. It's fun.
Mhm.
But thanks for coming on, Zan.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Zan.
Talk to you guys in a bit. But thanks for tuning in, everyone. Peace.
See you later.